I hope. All the parents and brothers and sisters, probably some grandparents and some aunts and uncles.
Rebecca's chicken.
Am not.
Are so. Your hands are shaking.
Are not. Look.
Looks to me like they're shaking.
Does not. Miss Crowley, I don't feel so good. You'll be fine, Rebecca. Where's our dog? My stomach hurts.
Rebecca's chicken.
Am not.
Are so.
You'll be fine. Remember our rehearsals?
I remember our lines.
We'll have a little rehearsal right now. Let's hear your lines.
Run, little jackrabbit, run home. That dog will eat you.
Very good, Cameron. Now, Rebecca, can you say your line? Run, little jackrabbit, run home. That dog will eat you.
That was terrible.
Cameron, it was not terrible. It could use a little more expression. Where are Tracy and Brandon?
Here, Miss Gumley.
Tracy, where's the rest of your costume?
It's at home, in the washing machine.
Why isn't it here? Doesn't your mother realize the performance is this afternoon?
She realizes it all right. It's just my little brother messed up the dog.
How do you do that?
Well, I was wearing the bottom part of his costume and I was changing his diaper. Gross.
I think we get the picture.
Usually I can change them without making such a big mess.
My stomach hurts.
But this time I wasn't so lucky.
Okay, Tracy. I know you're a big help to your mother.
I am. My brother turned into twins, you know.
So I've heard.
My mother's always losing her mind. That's what she says. How do you lose your mind, Miss Crumley? Isn't it stuck inside your head?
Let's think about our class play. I guess we can do without the rest of your dog costume. Brandon, what's on the front of your costume?
Pizza.
Well, at least it's in baby.
All right, Cameron. That's it. Now, let's go over the scene. Take your places, children. Go! Move! Scoot! All right. Rebecca and Cameron, look for the dog. Maybe you could look around a little bit, then spot the dog? Or maybe not. Okay, you see the dog and you're fine. You need to warn the little jackrabbit. Say your lines together.
If you don't warn the little jackrabbit, I'm gonna eat him.
Say it.
Say what?
Run, little jackrabbit.
Do we say it now?
Yes, Cameron, now would be a good time.
Run, little jackrabbit, run. You're supposed to say it with me.
I don't want to. Please, Rebecca, say it for me. Run, little jackrabbit, run home. That dog will eat you.
Say it louder!
Cameron, that wasn't very nice.
She's gonna ruin it.
You know, Rebecca, your mommy and daddy are going to be in the audience, and they'll be really disappointed if they don't get to see you.
I can do it without her.
Rebecca, what's the matter? My mommy and daddy will be in the audience, and they won't get to see me.
I thought you didn't want to be in it.
I don't.
So don't.
But my mommy and daddy won't get to see me.
Don't worry. They'll still love you.
Really?
Yeah. They won't love you as much.
Cry, baby.
Cry, baby, cry, baby, cry, baby.
Children, stop it. That's not nice.
Either she says it or she's out.
I'm the director, Cameron. When you grow up and decide to become a first grade teacher, then you can decide who says run, little jackrabbit.
Dog. I'm the mean old dog. You won't be when I'm the teacher. I'm gonna be the mean old lawyer, like my dad. He's super cool. Everybody hates him.
Okay, let's think about our class play. Alright, so Rebecca, can you say your line? I think I can say it. Okay, let's go wash your face. I'll be right back, children. Don't move.
You boys are so dumb.
At least we're not crybabies.
And we don't change baby diapers.
Gross.
Baby diapers.
You know, if all our parents and grandparents and aunts and
There's gonna be about 1,000 people in the audience.
He's not.
Is too.
He's not.
How many students are in our class?
I don't know, 50 or 60?
25. So that's 2 parents for each student, and that's 200 people. So we add, and then we add in all the grandparents, and we get.
My grandparents can't be here.
Why not?
They live in India.
They do not.
Yes, they do.
You don't even know where India is.
Do so. It's on the other side of the world. It takes forever to get there.
Why does it take so long to get there?
Because we have to drive to Ohio.
Okay. So we won't count your grandparents or mine. They're watching my brother so mommy can get out of the house. She was losing her mind, you know. Anyways, that leaves us with another 200 people. So that's 500 people, and we add in all the cousins and aunts, and we get 1,000.
Wow.
And I didn't even count the brothers and sisters. So that's another 25 people.
You really are good at math.
More than 1,000?
Closer to 1,000,000.
What if they don't like our play?
Then we'll never get out of first grade. So you two had better not mess up.
Miss Crumley said this was gonna be fun.
Did Rebecca look like she was having fun? I don't think so.
I'm not having fun.
Me either.
I don't want to be the little jackrabbit.
I don't want to be Little Jackrabbit's friend.
I'm okay with being the mean old dog. Glad I'm not a jackrabbit.
The story's stupid.
I hate it,
At least you get to be the dog.
but I don't get to catch you. If I was telling the story, the dog would catch the jackrabbit and tear him apart. There'd be pieces of jackrabbit for everywhere. And I'd sue anybody who didn't like it.
We have a dog. His name's Skippy.
We used to have a dog. When my brothers came along, my parents gave a dog to a nice family in the country. I wish he'd let me keep the dog and give my brothers to a nice family in the country.
What was your dog's name?
His name was Hugo. Mommy said he had anger management issues.
Rebecca is ready to say her line. Take your places, children. Alright, Rebecca and Cameron, look around and see the mean old dog. Look around. Bunny rabbit. Say your lines together.
Run, little jackrabbit. Run home. That dog will eat you.
I don't feel so good.
Cameron, what's wrong?
I can't go out there. I'm scared.
Oh, good grief.
You can't be serious.
Okay, I'm serious. I watched the movie. Well, I watched some of the movie. It was kind of boring.
There is no way I'm gonna kiss Kyle. I'd rather kiss a toad. Well, there's no way I'm gonna kiss you. I'd rather kiss my grandmother.
We have to kiss each other. It's in the script. At the Capulets party, Romeo kisses Juliet. Right here, Act 1, Scene 5. That's just the first time you meet her. I bet you kiss her a whole bunch after that. It's supposed to be some kind of love story or something.
No way. She's
I'm what?
kind of gross.
I'm gross. You think I'm gross?
Yup.
He thinks you're gross, alright.
Well, he's nasty. I'm not nasty.
If you don't want to kiss me, why did you even try for the play?
I never knew there was any kissing involved.
It's Romeo and Juliet. How can you do Romeo and Juliet without a kissing scene?
Why does there have to be a kissing
Because
scene?
they're in love.
But we're not in love.
It's called acting. It's a school play.
What kind of school play has kissing?
Romeo and Juliet. It's in the script. They see each other at a party and they fall in love. After they kiss a little bit, they decide to get married. Romeo kills Juliet's cousin, then they kill themselves.
What kind of story is that for students in the 6th grade to perform? My mom won't even let me watch stuff like that on TV.
It's by Shakespeare. That makes it okay. You can do anything by Shakespeare.
I could see you.
I'm your cousin Mercutio. I get killed by Juliet's cousin Tybalt after you marry her. Then you kill Tybalt, which means you killed your own cousin. I guess if we knew that, we wouldn't have picked a fight with me in the first place.
What happens to you?
I'm lucky. I'm gone in Act 3, Scene 1.
Why don't we switch rights? I'll be Mercutio. You can be Romeo.
No thanks.
Please, Ben.
Mercutio is bad enough. I can't memorize Romeo.
That's too bad. I'd rather kiss Ben than Kyle.
What?
What?
Maybe you could kiss Romeo's cousin just for good luck or something.
I'm Romeo.
Okay. Have either of you ever kissed anybody before?
Obviously.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well,
Lots of
I
times.
think so.
Well,
No,
no.
never.
You two need to learn stage kissing, then you won't be so nervous.
I'm not nervous. She's nervous. I might be a little nervous.
What's stage kissing?
It looks like you're kissing to the audience, only you're not really kissing. I'll show you. Get your mouths as close together as you can. Closer. Now make a kissy noise. Mwah.
No way!
Come on, you're not really kissing.
What makes you such an expert?
I'm gonna be a movie director when I grow up. Movies always have kissing scenes, even good ones with fights and car chases, so I need to practice my directing skills. Let's try that again. Turn your head sideways, that way the audience can't tell how far apart you are.
Now what?
Gross!
What's wrong?
You smell like onions.
You had hot dogs for lunch.
Can't eat onions and kiss girls.
But I like onions.
They make your breath reek.
What difference does it make? It's not like I'm actually gonna kiss her.
I've got an idea. Now, you just met at a Capulet's party, you're madly in love. You say, then move not while my prayers affect I take. Say it.
Then move not when prayers effects I take. That's weird.
Thus from my lips, I find my sin is purged.
What's that mean?
It means you're in love. Say it.
That's from my lips, by thine, my sin is purged.
Now, put your hand up on her face like you're going to kiss her, but you're going to put your hand across her mouth. That way you can kiss her on hand.
That might work. What do I do with my other hand?
Let's see. Try placing it on her shoulder.
Gross me out!
What's wrong now?
Look at his hand.
Hey man, when was the last time you washed your hands?
Before gym class.
We didn't have gym class today.
I know. I'm talking about yesterday.
I think I need to go to the clinic.
Hey man, if you're gonna be Romeo, you need to knock off with your names, wash your hands, and the rest of yourself. Here, try this.
Thank you. That's very refreshing. Say, man, why are you doing this for me?
Like I said, I want to be a movie director someday, and I want Romeo and Juliet to be good. Even though I don't like it very much, and I think they'll make a good Romeo. Except for the fact that you're gross.
Well, she's nice, isn't she?
She's real nice. I'd kiss her if I was Romeo.
Let's try this.
Okay, we're gonna forget about Kyle's hand on your mouth, and we're going back to plan 1.
It smells like mint and onions.
Hold your breath. Kyle, put your arms around Claire's shoulders.
Don't touch me with your dirty hands.
Claire, put your arms around Kyle's shoulders. Now lean in. Say your line, Kyle.
What was it?
Thus from my lips, I find my sin is purged.
That's from my lips, my body, my sin is purged.
And Claire says, then have my lips.
You've got to be kidding.
Say it.
Then have my lips.
Now act like you're kissing. Grief.
There's no way I'm gonna be Juliet if Kyle's gonna be Romeo.
Oh yeah? Well, same here.
That wasn't bad.
It wasn't?
No, I think this will go better once you've learned your lines.
How many times do we have to, kiss?
I haven't counted them all yet. You know there's a couple of sword fights.
Really?
And a costume party where Juliet dances with Romeo and other guys that are interested in her.
Really?
And I think you two can pull it off, even if you don't like each other.
I never said I didn't like Claire.
Yes, you did.
Well, I didn't mean it.
Well, you're gross, but you could be worse. Yeah, you could smell like garlic and onions instead of just onions.
What's garlic?
Pizza. Do you think you can give up onions and pizza during rehearsals?
I think so.
And maybe wash your hands a couple of times a day?
That's possible.
Don't forget to change your socks.
Knock it off.
Maybe we can be Romeo and Juliet.
We'll need a lot of practice.
First,
Come, Lavinia. Look, thy foes are bound. Sirs, stop their mouths. Let them not speak to me, but let them hear what fearful words I utter. Oh, villains, here stands the spring whom ye have stained with mud. This goodly summer with your winter mixed. You killed her husband, and for that vile fault, 2 of her brothers were condemned to death. My hand cut off, and made a merry jest. But her sweet hands, her tongue, and that no more dear than hands or tongue, inhuman traitors you constrained and forced. Hark, wretches, how I mean to martyr you. This one hand yet is left to cut your throats, whilst that Lavinia between her stumps doth hold. The basin that receives your guilty blood.
excuse me, what are you doing?
A classical monologue. It's from a play called Titus Andronicus. It's by Shakespeare.
I know it's by Shakespeare. I didn't know anyone actually read it.
Why not?
It has countless killings, many of which are committed on stage, numerous decapitations, sexual assaults, suicides, and cannibalism.
I knew it was a great play.
The monologue you have memorized is delivered just before Titus makes the Queen of Goths eat her sons who have been baked into a large heap.
Ooh.
You realize we're casting for a production of Anne of Green Gables.
So?
It's for families with children and grandparents. We'll be doing school performances.
I know. I'm hoping it gets me out of chemistry.
Perhaps a different monologue would have been more appropriate.
I always heard that Shakespeare was good for you.
Not when it's rated R. Do you have another poem or monologue you could deliver?
I remember a poem from the 6th grade.
Okay.
Listen, my children, and you shall hear of the midnight ride of Paul Revere on the 18th of April in 75. Hardly a man is now alive who remembers on that famous day and year. He said to his friend, if the British march by land or sea from town tonight, hang a lantern aloft from the belfry arch of the North Church Tower as a signal light. 1 by land and 2 by sea, and I on the opposite shore will be. Yeehaw! Well, what do you think?
I'll get back to you. Next.
Once, upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over merry quant and curious while in forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, sat there and came a tapping, as someone gently rapping at my chamber door. 'Tis some visitor, I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more.
Thank you.
But I'm not done yet.
I believe I've heard enough.
But I realized the whole poem. It's really cool. It's about this dude that's sitting here late at night, all depressed because his girlfriend checked out or something. Anyways, this freaking bird shows up and says nevermore and spends the rest of the poem trying to figure out if those birds are inside the house.
I'm familiar with The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe.
What's that?
The poem about the depressed dude. Do you realize we're casting a production of Anne of Green Gables?
Yeah, I was hoping I could be Anne.
But Anne is supposed to be cheerful and optimistic and loving and mischievous.
Well, my hair was red before it was pink. And I may be an orphan soon. My parents say I'm gonna drive into an early grave, so all I can work on is cheerful and optimistic stuff.
I'll get back to you.
Don't you want to hear the rest of the poem? It's got all kinds of cool stuff. Like the bird says stuff and the guy kind of loses his IQ. And then he's sitting in a room late at night, all depressed, reading a bunch of quaint and curious while I'm forgotten lore, while half asleep.
That's
and
okay. You have unique insight into the poem, but we're casting something a bit more hopeful.
I can be hopeful. Maybe.
I'll keep you in mind.
For your sake, I better get the part.
Next.
Oh man,
Do you have a monologue?
but you're tired of hearing the same old day in and day out, so I got you a little treat.
I hope you have a monologue, and I hope it's brief.
Hey, well, hold up. Julius Caesar?
Yes.
I got for you Mark Antony's oration for Caesar's funeral, only this is the way it be done. It's Anthony and Caesar lived in my neighborhood. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. We got a good man down, gonna shed them tears. All the bad he did lives on and on, while the good he did gets buried in his bones and hangs around like a kidney stone. And Al Capone on the saxophone. Buddha said Caesar had a lot of ambition. Buddhist is a dude with some intuition and a lot of suspicion and a disposition like a politician or a mathematician. When the poor brothers cried, Caesar said, enough. Mission should be made out of stone stuff. Try to fit Caesar with a big old crown and make him king of the whole dang town. Caesar said Rome won't have no king, and this gave Brutus an opening. Then the odds march got all predicted, and poor brother Jules was battle afflicted. So here I stand. Poor Pilate next. What else we got? In the Shakespeare decks, we got 5 recent Cassius and laden breath, and a whole lot of fighting and a whole lot of death. Friends, Romans, countrymen. Friends, cousins, countrymen. People around, the soliloquies over. It's time to go home. Bet you never heard Shakespeare like that before.
I'm speechless.
I believe they're all really good.
Do you realize we're casting Anne of Green Gables?
I know they did so well. I love that story. It makes me talk about Anne's family. Had to go and die for a little children in the States and then saw the kids always playing tricks.
What part of Anne of Green Gables would you be interested in?
Matthew, Anne's guardian, loyal, mature, distant, and a lovable curmudgeon.
I'll get back to you. Next.
The sun come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun.
Excuse me, what are you doing?
I'm auditioning for Annie. It's my favorite musical in the whole world. Ever since I was a little girl, I wanted to be Annie. I love her perky attitude, her great songs, her dog Sandy.
This is audition for Anne of Green Gables, not Annie.
Oh, is there a difference?
Well, yes, Annie is a story about an orphan with red hair and a cheerful outlook on life. Anne of Green Gables is a story about an orphan with red hair and, well, a cheerful outlook on life.
So what's the difference?
Annie is a musical. Anne of Green Gables isn't a musical.
May I audition for Annie of Green Gables?
You may audition for Anne of Green Gables.
Okay, the sun will come out tomorrow.
Wait, what are you doing?
I'm singing tomorrow.
But Annie and Anne of Green Gables aren't the same person.
So you're saying I can't sing tomorrow?
You can sing it, you just can't sing it Anne of Green Gables.
So what do I do?
This audition calls for a monologue. It can be classical or modern or a text of a poem or a famous speech.
May I sing tomorrow?
Tomorrow's a song. It isn't a classical or modern monologue, and it isn't a poem.
The words rhyme.
To recite something.
What?
Anything. A poem, a nursery rhyme, the Pledge of Allegiance.
Can I recite the words to tomorrow?
No.
You know, Annie is an excellent play. I bet more people come to see Annie than Annie Green Garbage.
That's Anne of Green Gables, and I believe your audition is finished.
But I didn't get to finish my song. You know, my mother said I'd never make it as a Broadway singer.
You should always listen to your mother.
What does she know?
Something about talent, I'd say. You may leave now.
Okay. What's this Anne and the Green Gremlin about?
An orphan girl growing up on a farm on Prince Edward Island in the early 20th century.
Does Anne sing any songs?
No, she helps out with the farm.
I bet if you made me Anne, we'd come up with some songs. I'm milking the cows tomorrow.
Okay.
You can bet the cows are feeling sorrow.
I've heard enough.
Can I be Anne of Green Rubber?
I'll keep you in mind. Next.
I have a modern monologue. You will not get by with it. I will have you taken apart, one appendage at a time. You lousy, stinking, crappy, crummy, cruddy, cruel. This monologue has some racy language.
Should I use it?
You're auditioning for a children's play called Anne of Green Gables. I don't believe it'd be appropriate.
Okay, I'll bleep it out. You crummy, cruddy, cruel. Bleep. Wash the mold. Bleep. With a bleep for a brain and bleep for bleep. How the bleep? Can you even bleep the sense too? Bleep. You sorry? Bleeping. Bleep. 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 Bleep.
Excuse me, what are you doing?
My monologue is from a play called, well, if I told you the name, I'd have to wash my mouth out with soap. It's sort of a cross between David Mamet and Edward Albee, with a little Tennessee Williams and, Richard Rogers. Kind of like a surreal existential version of A Few Good Men, with an agonized protagonist who suffers from delusions of grandeur, brought by an overbearing mother, childhood estrangement with a tropical setting featuring wild iguanas, and a bunch of other depressing stuff. It also has some nice song and dance numbers.
You made this up, didn't you?
Well, maybe. It's always been my dream to write something really heavy and depressing. Trouble is, I'm too happy and optimistic.
Okay, I've seen enough.
Is there any emotional conflict in this Anna Living Giant?
Not the kind of emotional conflict you're thinking about.
Alright, well, keep me in mind if you ever do street handling disaster.
You'll be the first person that comes to mind. Thank you.
How are the auditions?
Why do all the weirdos go out for drama?
Because all the normal people do something else. Can you cast our show?
We always do.
What about the spooky girl with the bizarre hair?
I'm thinking Anne.
And the rapper?
I'm thinking Matthew.
What about the name of wannabe, the foul-mouthed kid?
Reverend Allen, the new minister.
That leaves the kid that's obsessed with stage balance.
How about Gilbert Blythe, the boy Anne falls in love with?
I believe they deserve each other. You still haven't cast me out. Anne Stern, but Loving Guardian.
We'll have another round of auditions tomorrow. I can only take so much of this at one time.
It's always the weirdos, isn't it?
It never fails.
You can't be serious. How can you be stuck in traffic 10 minutes before curtain? I know we have an understudy, but this is a big role. I've never seen this guy on stage.
Where's Derek? We were going to Mami's.
Get here as soon as you can. No excuses. I hate community theater.
I asked you a question.
Yes, you did.
Well,
What was the question?
where is the leading man?
That would be,
That would be Derek, the guy you cast against my advice as 21 Dice. I did sound music with that clown. I got so angry for them I actually hit him. Can you imagine all the Von Trapp children watching as Maria belted Captain Von Trapp in the stomach? It makes seeing Edelweiss a little tense.
why did you punch him in the stomach?
I don't want to bloody his nose before the wedding.
Why were you so angry with him?
He was late to every rehearsal. He blames someone else every time he messed up, and he's not nearly as good as he thinks he is. He's arrogant, he's rude, he's thoughtless.
I figured that out.
So, where is he?
Sitting in his car?
Well, tell him to come inside. He should be in makeup by now.
His car is, well, on the other side of town.
What?
There was some kind of chemical spill and the traffic is backed up for miles.
But we're supposed to open in 10 minutes.
Tell me something I don't know.
What was he doing on the other side of town? He was supposed to be here an hour ago.
Taking his dog for a pedicure?
I knew this would happen. All my life, I wanted to do the show ever since I saw Grace Kelly play the part in the movie. I knew the minute I saw Derek at the auditions, this was going to be a disaster.
If you knew he was so undependable, why didn't you tell me?
You're the director. You should have figured it out.
We have an understudy.
But we've never run the show with him.
It looks like we're gonna run it now.
A rehearsal would have been nice.
We don't have time for that. What's he doing?
He's doing exactly what he did all day rehearsal. He's sleeping.
How can he know the lines, cues, and blocking if he was sleeping?
That's a very good question.
He really slept through all of our rehearsals?
I mean, once I saw him eating a donut.
Hey, you, understudy, wake up.
Huh?
What's your name?
Cameron?
Well, Cameron, it's nice to meet you.
We had auditions.
Really? I wasn't paying attention. Anyways, I'm Nadia. I'm the director. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. Again. And this is Kelly. She's the leading lady.
You're really good. When did you ever see me? You were always asleep.
I watched you while I was eating my dinner. Your dinner?
A cream-filled chocolate donut with sprinkles. It's my favorite.
Okay, Cameron, we have a little problem which you are going to help us with.
You need to unstop a drain or fix a hole in the roof. I'm real good with home repairs.
Our leading man, Derek, is stuck in traffic, and he's not going to be here in time to start the show.
You want me to go get him?
I want you to take his place.
Take his place. Later.
On stage, I want you to put on his costume, go out there, and play the part of Tony Wendice.
Who?
Tony Wendice, my husband, the guy who tries to kill me.
Why is he trying to kill you?
Because he wants the money.
What money?
My money? Also his boyfriend he's not too worried about. But the main thing is the money. He's in debt up to his eyeballs and he needs my money. The only way to get it is to kill me.
That's terrible.
Cameron, do you know anything about the role you should have been understudying?
Sure. I mean, of course. Not as well as I like. Not really. Hardly at all. Really? I don't know anything about the play.
Do you know the name of the play?
Sure. I mean, of course. Well, I knew it at one time. What's the play called again?
Dial M for murder.
Wow, that sounds serious.
It's a melodrama, Cameron. It's a classic by Frederick Knott. Alfred Hitchcock directed the movie. Does any of this ring any bells?
Sure. I mean, of course. I know exactly what you're talking about. Well, I thought I did. Really? I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you or are you not the understudy for the role of Tony Wendice?
Of course. I mean, sure.
Just say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever heard of Dial M for murder?
No, sir.
Have you ever heard of Alfred Hitchcock?
No, sir.
Have you ever heard of Tony Wendice?
No, sir.
Have you ever been on stage before in your life?
Well, I was in a play about a little jackrabbit when I was in the first grade.
How about since the first grade?
No, I don't believe I've been on stage since Little Jackrabbit. It was a very traumatic experience.
Cameron, what do you do?
Well, I'm currently unemployed on a not-so-temporary basis.
Except for one time in the first grade, you've never been on stage and you don't have a job?
Basically.
Here's my dilemma, Cameron. My actor is across town and it's time to start the show. You are going on as Tony Wendice and you are going to try and kill your wife, Margot.
You mean you want me to go out on stage in front of all those people?
That's what acting is all about. Going out on stage in front of those people. If you don't do it, Cameron, our theater will lose a lot of money, and Kelly will never get to do the role she's always dreamed of performing, the role of Margot Wendice.
No, I can't go out there.
I think I'm in agreement with Cameron. And I want to strangle him.
He's supposed to kill you, not the other way around.
It doesn't matter. Throughout rehearsals, he sat on his tush eating donuts and reading the National Enquirer. He didn't even know we were rehearsing. You're ruining my life, Cameron.
Maybe I could put on Derek's costume and pretend to be Tony.
Don't you think that might just be a little bit weird for our audience? Besides, you don't know the parts either.
I'm the director. I know all the parts. Well, I know bits and pieces of all the parts.
Just go tell the audience it's off.
We can't afford that. The theater barely stays afloat as it is, and this is a sold-out show. It's Derek.
Can you send a poison text message?
Derek, how are you, dear? How's the traffic?
We went to see a witch doctor and put a voodoo curse on you. Your insides are going to start boiling like molten lava in about 5 minutes. You're going to give a whole new meaning to the term heartburn. Do you hear me, you conceited, underachieving buffoon?
Your absence from our little production is causing a bit of strife on the set. What's that? Traffic is moving? You'll be here in 15 minutes. That's a long time to keep an audience waiting. Okay, get here as soon as you can. Bye.
Why didn't you reach for the phone and strangle him?
There are a number of answers to that question, but they involve physics and the concepts of dimension and time travel. And we don't have time for that right now.
Can you delay the curtain for 15 minutes?
I think we can do better than that.
What do you mean?
Cameron is going to go out there and tell us about his last day at the convenience store.
What? I told you, I have a fear of large groups of people that aren't waiting in line to buy stuff.
It's time we cured your stage fright. And besides, I know our audience would love to hear how one told at the convenience store with a toy poodle.
You can't be serious.
He needs to do something towards his community service. And besides, you have to admit, it was interesting.
It was weird, but weird might work.
Tell us, Cameron, what kind of orange juice does Scarlett Johansson prefer?
Does she like the kind with or without pulp?
She went for the pulp-free Minute Maid. Are you ready for your 15 minutes of fame?
Maybe. I can do it. Do we really have a choice?
Okay, let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very fortunate to have a very special guest with us this evening. An outstanding new comedian, Cameron the convenience store guy. Cameron is going to,
Cameron once understudied the role of Tony One Nice in Dial M for Murder.
Our play will begin shortly, but for now, take it away, Cameron. What do I do? Tell them what you told us. Only take your time. I used to work at a convenience store. Have any of you ever worked in a convenience store? Raise your hand if you ever worked in a convenience store. Let me tell you, it's no picnic. One day, a lady found a tube of mascara in her slushie. She stuck it under my nose and asked me what I was going to do about it. I told her if she wasn't going to pay for it, she'd better put it back in the slush machine. Then this guy came in and held me up with his toy poodle. He told me to empty the cash drawer or his dog was going to bite me. Do you know how embarrassing it is to tell the policeman you were robbed by a toy poodle? He got the cash from the drawer and 5 boxes of doggy treats. Then the boss came in and raised all kinds of fuss because the potato chips weren't in alphabetical order on the display. I thought he meant all the barbecues together, all the sour cream onions together, that kind of thing. No, he wanted them arranged by brand names, then by flavors. I tried and tried, but by the time I finished, most of the chips were crumbled up inside the bags. Did I tell you that Scarlett Johansson came in to buy a quart of orange juice, and her adoring fans went for her and wrecked the place? By the way, don't miss 60 Minutes. Leslie Stahl does a whole segment making me look like an idiot. It really wasn't that hard to do. Did I tell you about first grade? We did this play about a little jackrabbit and a mean old dog. My job was to warn the little jackrabbit that the mean old dog was about to attack. I hopped on that stage, turned to face the audience, and lost my cookies. Right there, in front of thousands of people. It ruined the rest of my life. I used to work at a convenience store. Have any of you ever worked at a convenience store? Raise your hand if you've ever worked at a convenience store. Let me tell you, it's no picnic. Derek's arrived at the theater. Who's Derek? Has he ever worked in a convenience store? Did I tell you about middle school? We did this play by Shakespeare. Would you get up?
Shakespeare can start the fight.
But I'm finally over my stage fright. This is great. They love me. Anyway, you're a great audience. Thank you for coming out this evening.